I think my bot is actually gonna go crazy here. Okay. Khazix game in a depressing rank. What server do you play on?
EU West.
You West? Alright. Name is Uwu Buggy. Alright. So you haven't finished your placements yet this season
No,
with the Khazix game. Do you usually play Khazix, or is this like a
no,
one-time thing?
he's my main.
He's your main?
Yeah,
Nice. Yep, good. He has a really strong assassin mindset, of course, especially if you play this lethality build. It's good if you just stick to the champion. That's awesome if he's the most played. A lot of people have the issue
he
that they
is.
play a shit ton of champs, and that's obviously bad.
He's my most played at the moment.
Yep, good. Yep, you should just stick to your most played champions in general. All right. For this game, Kha'Zix into Warwick. So what are you thinking so far? Like, what's your idea on this game? What are you gonna do? It's like the baseline.
Where are you like?
Oh wait, I'm not streaming. My bad. My bad. My bad. Gonna start
No,
streaming now. Yep, can you see?
give me a second. Yeah. Yep.
Turning you up a little. Yep. So this game, what are you thinking when you go into the game? What is like your initial plan when you go into a game like this?
The I wasn't thinking too much about the Warwick, but I just felt like that is not like nice to gank in my opinion. So I started top and I thought it would be easy to gank bot lane and get a few kills with Lux.
Yep.
That's really.
Yep. So an important thing to think about when you have matchups like this, if you watched the previous session I had, I don't know if you did, like I mentioned that when you have double melee top laners, especially when they run ignite, like things tend to get pretty crazy in the top lane, right? So that's a thing you always want to look out for when you have these double melee matchups. So when they go hit the minions in the middle of the lane, they are they're gonna trade, right? They're gonna hit each other instead of the minions and stuff like that. So they obviously get low. So you have some options available for you in the top side as well. Obviously, going for the bot side is usually the play people look for because there's two players to kill, right? So it's double the gold compared to the top lane matchup. But I think like when you have these double melee matchups, especially when they both run ignite, they're gonna get low, and that's a volatile lane, and there might be some freebies for you to pick up if you look that way. There's a nice late ward. Did you switch to sweeper? I assume you did.
Yep.
Yep, good stuff. This is especially a good ward against I guess players like
Warwick.
Warwick as well, yeah. Kindred Graves, Kane, Singe. But mostly what I like to do instead of warding this spot right here, if you can see my cursor, I
Yeah.
usually ward this red brush instead. So this kind of protects you. So what this does is you basically this shows if the enemy jungler is gonna level 2 gank mid from their first camp. That's what this is gonna show. But is Warwick really gonna take blue buff and then go gank mid? I don't think so. So what I like to do instead is I like to ward this brush. So what that does is it denies some late invades, for example. So you can place this a lot earlier. For example, you can run out of base and just place this ward down, and you can instantly start to recall and get your Oracle. So that's another thing I would recommend to do, because basically what you do by hanging around here at this time is if they actually are with this brush, for example, or something like that, right? Like you kind of rock up here late, they could get into this brush, kind of hug the vision here. I mean, it's probably not like that it's going to happen, But what you could instead do is you could just ward this brush right here. You can see at the bottom of the screen, and then you can just recall and get the oracle and go with the initial game plan. So this is kind of unnecessarily risky to ward this. This ward doesn't really bring you any value, but it's a good rule to place a ward before you switch to oracle if you like to do oracle level 1. Do playback speed by 2. Probably nothing interesting going on.
Oh, just a normal full clear.
Yep. Right, this is E West. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna look you up here instead, so I can actually get access to the whole match and I can look at the game. So if it's like I thought this was a POV, but since you just went to the replay tool, it's
Yeah.
whatever. I can just do it myself.
Because I did it like a bit after scheduling or before.
Yep, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I just usually prefer the POV votes to just give me a bit more insight on how you manage your camera and where you are looking and how you're clicking and stuff like that, right? All right. Just gonna speed through the early game. So yeah, what I was explaining to you to do instead of this board, what you do is you would be here where the MF is running right now, right? So it would be running, just run through here, place the board here. That denies late invades and stuff like gain from chasing your raptor. So what they would like to do usually is they run around here, queue over this, and then they like just invade your raptors and spawn, right? So that's a really good ward against champions like Gain. And another thing is if they have like a Blitzcrank or risky invade, for example, Blitzcrank Nautilus, you could just place this ward and you can run away. And if they do come, you see them and you are in no risk of dying to the invade, right? So if you're going to place a level 1 ward, it should be this brush, not here in the river. This river ward does nothing for you, right? That makes sense.
30 seconds until minions spawn. Minions have
Gonna do
spawned.
clear, basic stuff. Look at the battle ward spot. Good. Okay, so this is a pretty big thing, but you should add this to your gameplay. Is that you don't need to always look at your lanes. I get it. Like it's hard to like keep clicking everywhere, blah 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 blah. Like it's normal for high level players to be able to do that consistently. But what you can do instead is instead of like permanently clicking and checking your lanes manually or like pressing F keys, spam spam spam. Uh, you can just look out for this. Like just look at the minimap. Always try to look at the minimap. So when you see like people are like really close to each other, for example here and here, and like you can see that they're starting to lose their HP, that's when you want to check. So you want to just look out, like what's going on really. Is there something I can do? For example, if these guys are like really low, obviously in khazix you can't really do this, but some champions you might pick a plater will have like you can just like run after blue and go kill this guy who's like really low HP here pushing out. But you don't need to always look at the lanes or spam your F keys, but like just try to look at the map like almost all the time as a jungler. And if something's happening, you can see it, and then you can maybe decide to click if it's like really going crazy or like first bloods are happening and stuff like that. So again, I don't know how much you look since this is not POV, but it's whatever. Right, basic clear. So this is a moment when you get level 3, you're playing khazix, you now have your jump, you
Yeah.
have all your abilities. So this is a good moment to check out the lane you started from. For example, if this guy would be low HP or something, so you could decide to uh, drop your full clear and just like get the free gank here, right? It's a really common strategy for people to do, especially this season. You just take 3 camps, see if there's anything going on. No gank here, he's full HP. Yeah, probably shouldn't do it. So yeah, then I just decide to go for the Raptors. But yeah, before you go for the
Oh,
Raptors, you always want to you always want to check out for the starting side lane gank or the starting side lane gank. Okay, something funny happening mid. So this is
think,
another one you could look.
I think I got her this time.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yep, this is good. You're not beam lining on your full clan. You actually move. Awesome, awesome, very good stuff. She's low mana. Okay, we got the flash. Do we even get a kill? Nice, good job. Nice. That's a nice pick. It's really important for always for assassin players, yeah, and khazix especially.
In general.
Yep. So it's like always when you get 3 kills, it's always, even if you trade here, even if you die to this turret, how I like to think about these assassin junglers, and I play a lot of assassins myself, is that the gold you gain is almost always more valuable than the gold the enemy gains in like these really early game stages, because you are able to like obviously get more damage, so you can one shot them later. So yep, good stuff. Yep, now we're getting a bit low. So yeah, we probably don't even want to look here. It's kind of doomed, whatever. We went there. We went for mid play. Yep, good stuff. He actually reganks this. Oh, and we rolled back. Awesome. Even if you didn't get anything, this is really good that you actually reacted to the map. Really awesome stuff. Really good. Yep. So another thing you want to do, like you saw how after you got the kill on the Warwick, or Echo got the kill on the Warwick, he pings you to shove in this way. So even when you get a kill, like for example, even if let's say you killed Cassiopeia here instead, and Warwick is like around this area, and Echo solo kills the Cassiopeia, but he's this low HP, and what laners always want to do is they want to push in this wave. So instead of you leaving to the scuttle, you actually usually want to help them shove in the lane, even if it's like 1v0, and it's like, oh, he's laning against no one, like he will surely like do whatever he wants and he can get the wave in, right? But what happens is that laners don't really understand where the enemy jungler is, or if there is even a threat of a jungler. So if this guy's really low trying to push in these minions, it's a really easy gank for the Warwick. So that's
I just felt like she could kill me there.
yeah. Obviously, in this specific scenario, this is good. You just left because yeah, you cannot help the Echo shove in the lane. That is what I was trying to say. When these kills happen and the enemy jungler is somewhere around here, you want to help them push in the way because they will greed for it. For example, let's say a Cassiopeia here killed the Echo, for example, and she's this low HP. You were full HP, had recalled a Dirk or whatever. You can just go and kill her, right? And then what the Warwick would be like, oh my god, my mid laner died. But it's really the jungler's fault for not helping the laner pushing the wave, right? Yep. We invade on timer. Warwick shows top. Good. They're pushing in. Good stuff. Okay, we can see it on the ward. Awesome. Yep, back off, nothing to do here. So, the next thing would be, okay, I've pushed the wrong button, is when you're playing these junglers who like to buy the dirt, right? So, when you have the amount of gold required to buy the dirt, for example, you're here, take it to Cromp, what you can do is that is always look at your gold. For example, you have here 1300 gold. You just invaded his level respawned camp here, level 4. It's level, yeah, it's gonna be level 4. Level 4 Cromp, level 3 actually, level 3 Cromp. Anyway, respawn camp, more value, more XP. So what you can do here instead of going for these Crocs at all, looking for this gank is good since Warwick was in top. He cannot really punish us. But what you can do after taking this pink ward is just recall, spend your gold, you get boots, you get Dirk, and then you are really strong on the map. You can go take these camps, and then you can like kind of full clear towards bottom again. Maybe then you can look for the gank or even for the Drake. But right now, by us taking these Crocs, we are kind of like getting really behind on the tempo here in the game, because we are having all this gold we are not spending, and it just takes us a long time to farm these camps. And you can see how our raptors have already spawned. Like, it's 5 minutes into the game and we are still on the map without having spent our gold. You can see how that's bad, right? So always, it's a really important thing is to just look out for the gold spike. And that, for these junglers who like to buy Dirks, it's always the Dirk. So when you have the 1100 gold, usually you just want to recall. It's like a safe bet to just recall when you have 1100 gold for the Dirk. So that's something I want you to implement in your gameplay. It's just have 1100 gold, recall, spend your gold. That's a really good point. And another point is when this comes relevant is when you get your mythic. So I'm just gonna type a few notes here. So use this ward spot. In 5 minutes we have always look to spend your gold when you have a power spike. Dirk or mythic. This is just an example. Of course, in the later stages of the game, you again have power spikes, you get a new item, blah blah blah. You almost always just want to recall when you have the gold, right? That's a really good thumb rule to have. Yep, another thing, 2 pink boards. I probably wouldn't do it. So, in general, like people just love to spend all their gold when they come to base. It's just not necessary. So, I wouldn't buy 2 picks at all. What you could buy is if I think you bought this pink because you want to vote the Drake, so you can like avoid the cheesy Drake by the Warwick. But what you can do instead is just buy the 1 pink. You don't need to spend 150 gold on vision at 5 minutes, especially in this elo. Like even in my games, I usually only start buying pinks at like around the important objective. So I a lot of the time when I'm playing carry junglers like Graves, khazix, Rengar, whatever, I usually buy my first pinks when the Baron spawns. So I have some vision for the Baron. Like these early game pinks are like usually they just go to waste. You don't really gain a lot of value from them. You're not really denying any important vision. I know people just love to buy pinks and they love to spend gold, but that's just a really bad habit. So if you want to buy a pink for the Drake, it's good. It's good. It's always good to have pinks, but don't buy 2, especially at like 5 minutes in the game. The 1 is just gonna be enough. Gonna type that in as well. 6 minutes. Don't buy 2 pinks. You don't always need to spend all your gold. Yep. It's our XP here. See the Warwick. Warwick's still level 5. We can maybe look for this. We could maybe look for this blue invade since our whole team is here. That's good. Yep. Bait him in. Awesome. Yep, and now we get the Drake. Yep, good stuff. So the replicable thing about this, what happened here is, and this is good. And what we want to take away from this situation is that usually around these timers, like Drake spawn 6 minutes, 7 minutes. So usually a mid liner is usually 6. This guy's 5 for some reason. And you are really close to hitting 6. So you are like 3 camps away from hitting 6. So if we kind of spent that time more valuably, or farmed our camps more, we would be level 6 here as well. But in general, what you want to usually do around this point is you want to start fighting for the Drakes. When you have your ults, you have the manpower here to fight for this. So what we do here is really good. So we essentially look for either a gank on the bot lane or a invade on the enemy jungler to make him out of the game. So what this does is we now have an uncontested Drake. They cannot really, they just cannot come uncontested because they now are losing a member on the map, right? So almost before always you want to go for these Drakes, you always want to kind of like get the manpower up there, right? You want to get the numbers advantage. You want to gank some lane, get someone out of the game, get the jungler down, get a gank off in the bot lane before you do the Drake. So obviously this makes this a really free Drake. Yep, so that's a really good thing. Really good thing to note about when you look for these early trades. Yep. So what I'd like to do now is we notice we are really close to level 6. We have one camp of level 6. 7 minutes into the game, Herald is gonna spawn soon. What I would like to do is just recall, spend a gold. Recall, spend a gold, and get one camp, for example blue here, and we could look for the same thing we did with the Warwick here. We could try to gank this top lane. We could try to gank the mid lane. Again, we would try to remove one member from the enemy team. So again, we would have an uncontested objective, right? So basically, when you go here down this bottom lane, first of all, when you take the Drake, everyone gets a notification. Oh my God, the enemy jungler just took the Drake. Where is he gonna go next? These guys shouldn't really be in like huge danger from getting killed by a khazix and Flux, right? So what we do here is kind of like wishful thinking that, oh, maybe we can just kill them as well, right? It's not really something you can kind of keep on doing in the games. It's this shouldn't work, and it doesn't work for that reason. So what we should do instead is just recall, spend a gold, get level 6, maybe look for this herald. So look for an invade. He's really close to 6. How much gold do we have? You only have 600 gold. Okay. So instead of recalling and spending like the 600 gold, we literally get nothing for it, one longsword. Just do this. Yep. So you can see how much time we basically wasted by even attempting that gank and attempting that invade on the Warwick here. So for example, we hit our next camp at 8 minutes 5 seconds. And we took the Drake almost a minute ago. Right? So we end up wasting almost a minute on bot side, achieving absolutely nothing. When we could be just going here, getting this one camp off, get level 6, and then we can make a play with the level 6 ult, right? That's kind of the idea. So I want you to look out
Emil.
Hello, can you hear me? Was I muted for a long time? Wait a second, they're not in chat. No mic audio. 3 to 4 minutes. Oh yeah. Wait. GDF, can you hear me? I have my chat active. I didn't know at all. Right. No voices coming through the stream. Mic off. No mic. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was just gonna keep my stream on the on my chat on the other side. So 3 to 4 minutes. So we've been. Was I talking about the Drake here? The last time you heard of me? Can anyone help me? Was I talking about the Drake? That was my fault. I think my headset is living its last 2 weeks of his life. Bot gank after. Okay, yeah. So we were talking about the bot dive. Yep. So what I was talking about, what I was going to say about this bot dive is that we took the Drake. Whole of China knows where we are. They all get the notification where everyone is, and you just looking for this gank is kind of like wishful thinking on like getting the review either. I think he's not speaking much. Wait, are you muted? Are you muted or are you here? Can you hear me? Are you muted or just not speaking? This has proven pretty disastrous. We'll fix all the issues before next stream. He's typing. Muted. Are you muted by me or are you?
No, by me.
Okay. So you at least you have heard what I've been saying.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean that was my my idea here anyway. Like I just thought you didn't want to really speak, so it's fine. It's fine if you don't speak English, for example, so well. But if you can understand, that's already really good. So yeah. So the oh, this has been disastrous, but yeah. So before, yep. So the important thing here is to note that we are really close to level 6. We spend a lot of this time wasting around when we give the enemy team this notification that, oh, we just took the Drake. They're obviously gonna know where you are, and then they're gonna think, where's gonna go next? Probably not bot. So then you show bot, we get nothing, and now we are still one camp of 6, and it's just kind of we are just really laying the level 6 power spike. So what I want you to think about in the future is that always keep an eye out on your XP. It's kind of the same as keeping an eye out on your gold. Like those are the two most important things you need to think about all the time. And like just know at what level you are in game and like how much gold you have. So obviously it's kind of like being level 3 again, all over again on khazix. Obviously when you get level 3 you get the gap loss, so you can like gank people. It just makes you, it unlocks your kit and your champion, right? So it's kind of the same when you get level 6. So when you get level 6, you get another ability open, and you can you get obviously a lot more damage. You get a lot better ability to skirmish and team fight, whatever it is. So always look out for the level 6. So the issue here is that we take the Drake. Everyone knows where we are. We try to gank this bot lane after. Obviously, it's not going to work since they know where we are exactly, even without having wards. So we spent almost a minute after Drake not hitting a single camp. So we finished Drake at 7 minutes 14 seconds, and we are next time we are hitting camp without recalling even is at 8 minutes 4 seconds, and we have achieved nothing. So when you're really close to these level 6 power spikes, always go for the camps. One camp of 6, okay. There's a play maybe being made. Just go for the level 6. The level 6 is a safe play. It's what's gonna just like it's just a more consistent choice to make when you have a gank available or when you have level 6 after one camp. So now I have level 6. For example, we could have been here at least 30 seconds earlier. We could have gotten the evolved Q. We could have already been done with this Herald, for example. But yeah. So always keep an eye out for the XP and the gold. It's unfortunate. Warwick shows up. Yep. So this is another important learning we see here in the moment. This is really good. We decide to not try to just sneak out this Herald when again the enemy team knows where we are exactly. They saw us on vision. So we go back to the camps, hit the camps. So the important thing happens here is Cassiopeia actually goes bottom. And she ganks his bottom. And what this does for you laner who actually stays on the lane is this guy now gets to freely shove in this wave. And now he has to move on the map. So he can help you with Herald, or in this case, he can help you from not dying to this Warwick solo. Right? If this Cassiopeia didn't go to gank bot, this guy would still be in this wave, right? He wouldn't be all the way, like, almost all the way here. So we want to kind of think about, like, where the... If our laners are actually moving with us. Like, obviously, when you go for... always when you enter River, you think about, do my laners have Fryo and whatnot? But what's important to note here is that he's actually moving with us already. So this is really good. We deny this gank. But what we want to do after he turns on us, just like start walking towards your teammate. So this guy here, he's coming to you, but you need to go to him. Or what you're trying to do is kind of kind of like go towards the carrot, but he he obviously doesn't care. This guy does care, so go towards the guy who cares, right? And he ends up getting there in time. Awesome stuff. And now we get to take the Herald for free. Again, non-contested. And it's the same thing as we did on the Drake play. So before objective, we always look to remove one player from the enemy team. So they don't try to 4v4 us on the Herald or something like that. So that's another really good thing. So here we're gonna have 1800 gold. Yep. So again, what we do again is the same thing we did after the Drake. We take objective. Everyone gets the notification. The whole of China knows where we are. And then we are like, can I just get this cheesy gank off? 9 times out of 10, this is not gonna happen. It doesn't matter which rank you play. When the when the enemy jungler gets an objective, this guy knows, oh, I might be in danger here. So it's good we actually find the pink ward and we don't try to go for this gank. This guy has already recalled. Again, we have almost 2k gold. We don't really want to fight, right? So this guy is safe here. We can just recall. What we end up doing is trying to dive this guy. Looks a bit risky. It's a set. Okay. Okay, let's talk about this. Actually like this a lot. But there's a bit of nuance here. So I like that we see Warwick mid. We decide to match his play somewhere else, so we go topside. So what I don't like about this is that, yes, this is a good Herald. The turret is about to fall, the Herald will kill it, and maybe we can kill the set after. What I don't like about this is that we have 2k gold, and the turret plates are not going to fall anytime soon. It's still 3.5 minutes before the turret plates fall, and we saw Warwick leave mid and walk towards topside. So what's really dangerous here is that we might have to get into a fight here with the set and the khazix, set and the Warwick. And the important thing here is that even though it's a 2v2 and your current is like massively ahead, we haven't spent our gold. We have so much gold. You always want to avoid fighting with this large amount of gold at all times. So it's like, what you could do instead of popping this Herald here and getting kind of into this risky conflict situation is you could just recall. You have to fast recall with Herald 3 seconds, and you could just run back here with your spent gold, and then you can take the turret, and then you can look for the dive. Because what's going to happen is that we kind of forget where the Warwick is, so he should be probably around his top side. So there he is. So we kind of forgot that when we saw Warwick here, he actually walked towards top. So now we kind of put ourselves in a situation where we might have to fight, and we have a shit ton of gold unspent. And unspent gold, literally, it just doesn't help you at all, right? There's another show up. Yep. This is an even better time to recall. Yep, just get out. Okay, we have 2.3k gold this time. We have the mythic spike. All the camps down on bot side. Yep, let's go. Good. We get Duskblade and a longsword. So that's obviously really good. But that whole play could have gone like really poorly in the top lane, right? Because of we kind of forgot about what's gonna happen and what where the Warwick went. So the main takeaway, I think, there is just like, again, keep an eye out on your gold. I'm gonna type in, like, you can even like let your teammates die if you if you are in a more even game and you have a lot of fucking gold in your pocket. You just don't want to take the risk, especially when you have a shutdown. Well, this game we don't have a large shutdown, but there are games where when you are like 5-0, 7-0, you're gonna have a large shutdown, and then you're gonna fight with like 3k gold. That is as game losing decision making as it gets, right? You don't want to do that. Always spend your gold before you look for fights. So again, keep an eye out for your gold. And what else? What else is there? Yep. Avoid fights when you have a lot of gold, especially even fights. You can look for ganks when it's like a 3v1 at the bot lane, for example. Then it's like no problem, because it's pretty likely that you're gonna succeed even if you haven't spent any gold, because of the sheer amount of members you have. Okay, we look for a pick here. Okay, let's see. I can obviously tell it's a bit different playing in this elo where people just don't acknowledge, like this guy just. Wait, actually he does move. Never mind. I thought he was just hitting his wave like this guaranteed in the before, but yeah, it's kind of like, again, like you want to have a bit more patience when you find these players in the river, especially when you are close to your teammates. So what you should do instead, you should just like kind of wait out, let this echo come to you. You can just stall time with your ult. So yeah, for example, you see this guy, you don't need to ult in. You can just kind of, I guess you wanted to solo kill her, but she's level 9. She has exhaust. She has some HP build. Like, yeah, she's 2 levels. Sorry, that's the important thing here. It's fairly well played. You were trying to avoid the ult. She didn't actually even have, but it's fair. But yeah, you can see how now we ended up giving 500 gold bounty, which is really not that big of a deal. But like, if we were to give that 500 gold bounty when we were on the top lane, for example, when we are fighting with 2k gold, that's obviously really bad, and we don't want to do that. So that's already like a huge learning for you from this game, is to just like always keep an eye out for your HP, for your XP and your gold. It's like the 2 most important things you need to keep track of. But it's not a bad death, because now we will still be up and able to fight for the Drake and just snag the Drake here. Warwick either disconnects or rage quits there. Okay. So again, with khazix, especially when you go Q evolve, it's not that big of a deal to solo Drake. For example, the last review we had, a player was solo in this Drake 5 minutes earlier, playing Singed. So in here, you probably don't need to wait for your team as much when both the bot lanes are gone. So you can just start up this Drake and kind of sneak it away, since you deal so much DPS to it with evolved Q. So let's see. Again, we do the same. We look for an immediate play on the nearby lane after giving out the notification. So that's obviously a pretty bad habit, because it's just not likely to happen. It's just not likely to happen. So that just kind of try to find something else when you do this, especially unless they are like pushed all the way here, right? They are like all the way here, it's just chilling, kind of like not even being aware that the drag is being taken. Then you can do it. But if they're all the way like in the safety of the turrets, it's just not likely that you're gonna get this gank off immediately after doing the trade. Because again, you give out a huge notification. The enemy jungler is here. The enemy jungler is here. Don't fucking go nearby this brush because the enemy jungler is not gonna be there, right? I'm gonna type out. Don't look out for an immediate play on the nearby lane of the security objective. Taking an objective, even if outside of vision, gives notification to the enemy team on your exact location. Yep. So what else? So what you could do instead? Did they actually fight here? Okay. So this ends up working out because they do actually face the brush, but so far in this game we've had a 33% success rate with this strategy. So what you could do instead of trying to go for this play, which is again, it did work out this time, but it's kind of like result-based thinking. We don't want to do that because if we do result-based thinking, then you can do like, oh, I'll just always what I do is I take red buff and I level 2 gank bot. Oh, it works. So now I'll just keep doing it. But obviously that's how you build bad habits in this game, is by thinking based on results instead of like based on the probability. So this is not a high percentage play. So what you could do instead, so after you take the Drake, if you want to gank this bot lane after you do the Drake, you can do it. But how you would approach this is you can just jump over the wall here, take the Crocs, and then like the enemy team kind of falls into a sense of security, like, oh, the jungler didn't come here immediately, so we must be safe. But you are still in the area if you just hit these Crocs, and then you can gank after the Crocs, and then they're gonna be like, oh no, the jungler is still here, he's camping us. But you are not really camping us, you're just like kind of going for the high probability or the higher probability play, which is not going for the immediate gank after taking objective. Yep. Works out. Also, do next. Get 1200 gold. We get a mid gank off. Awesome. Yep. Just transfer to hitting your camps. Yep. So at this point, the game looks pretty much done. You're just free to hit your camps here. Good stuff. No real need to recall. So this is what I like. This is I actually like this a lot. What you're doing here is you're just like taking your sweet time hitting your camps. You have all the camps up, just hit them camps. Gonna lower my minimap scale here a bit so I can actually see the objective timers. So what we want to look out for here is when we are in this situation, like this is a situation facing the game where people struggle a lot. So it's like all the objectives are down. There's nothing to really do. It's like the Baron is not spawning. It's like 14 to 16 minutes of the game, people really start to struggle and they just start to get lost. They start to run ARAM here and they start to like look for these real desperate ganks. So what you're doing instead is actually really good. And the reason why this is really good is because we are just waiting for the objective to spawn, which is Rift Herald, in 90 seconds. So by you hitting all these camps, you just get the most value, you get the most gold, and you are able to be the strongest version of yourself for this Herald. And in case if there's a team fight, you obviously want to be as strong as possible, right? So you hitting these camps is actually really good here. I like this a lot. Oh wait. Sped up a little bit too much. And yep, and again, we see something going on bot lane. It's really good. We adapt to the game. And we get a pick here. Really good ult. We come out of the brush invisible. Makes it really hard for the players to actually realize what's going on until it's too late. Yep, this is awesome. So now, Herald 40 seconds. So yeah, we have time to do these Crocs. Nothing stopping us from doing these Crocs. And after the Crocs, we can just we can reset. Again, we have a shit ton of gold, 3k gold, really good. So again, like that was the difference maker between fighting with a lot of gold, going for these picks, and fighting with a lot of gold in the top lane. This is a really unfair fight. Like it's 1Q and they're dead basically. So this is a situation where you can fight with a lot of gold. You had 2k gold going into this fight, but it doesn't really matter because it's so easy for you to execute the actual gank and to get value out of this play. So this is a good example. So this is actually a really good game by you so far because we are able to adapt to the map really well, and then this is perfect time when we cannot get punished. There's nothing for the Warwick to do up here. There's literally no camps, there's no objective. So what we can do here is we just go hit our Crux. Hit our Crux. Reset, spend a lot of gold, 3k gold. And now we are obviously really fucking strong. We have 2 items. We are 513, really big bounty, really strong khazix. Are we close to level 11? Not really. So yeah. And now we can just go for the Herald. Yep, just really, really perfect stuff here. Yep. So, a thing about the second Herald, how I like to use it, it's not really applicable to this game. But what I always want to do with this second Herald is target these tier 2 turrets on the side lanes. Because these bad boys give you 600 gold for taking it down. 600 gold. This turret gives you 300 gold. This turret gives you 300 gold. Again, 300 gold here. But like usually at this point of the game, 16 minutes, usually the both tier 2 turrets on the side lanes are not down. So this is what you want to target with your Herald. So that's really important for your future games when you take the second Herald. You always want to target these side lane tier 2s because they give you the most gold. And again, the more gold you have, the easier the team fight for the Baron is going to be. And that's basically the goal of you playing these carry junglers, is you want to be as strong as possible for the 20-minute market for the Baron fight. Yep, now we just end up positioning the base since we are just so much stronger than the enemy team. Yep. So I don't think there's much more to look about this game. I think we just end up, what do we end up doing actually? I imagine we would just do the Baron here, just wait for the Baron kind of thing. So this is another point in the game when this is kind of the situation before you took the Herald. Is always just think about the next objective. So here we have Drake in 10 seconds. Obviously go for the Drake. And what we can do after is, again, we could just be hitting our camps after this and just wait for Baron spawn, get the Baron, and then we can really cleanly close this game without having like much room for our team and us to throw the game. But we just end up brute forcing the team or the game because we are so much far ahead of the enemy team. Yep. It's a really clean game, really well played. And yep, there are definitely some things we can take away from this game and apply in the future. So, gonna have some notes about here. Wait, actually, I'm gonna go back to the game. See some points for the notes. So yeah. So far we covered a 1 minute useless ward spot. So we're gonna use the better ward next time we play. The main important takeaways from this game is definitely to keep looking at our gold and keep looking at the XP we have. So we are one camp of 6. Always just get the 6 first. Just prioritize the 6. So prioritize level 6. And then for the late game, I wanted to talk about this Herald. Obviously, this game it's a really good Herald. There's nothing to talk about the Herald. But in the future games, so around 70 minutes, look to use the second Herald on side lane tier 2 turrets. They give you the most gold. And help you win the Baron fight easier. Obviously, the more gold you have, the stronger you are, the easier it is to win the team fight. So that's basically the main goal of playing these carry junglers, is just get as strong as possible for the Baron, because the Baron is going to win in the game, right? When you get Baron in a game like this, it's just you can just walk down these lanes and you can freely kill the base, basically. What else was there? What else was there? Oh yeah. So the really good thing about this game, what I liked a lot, was what we did before we started the second herald. So this sequence right here. So it starts at
Shut down.
let's say it starts at around 40 minutes. The complete, almost complete full clear of jungle when all the objectives are down. I really like this. This is so good, and this is something you want to apply to your future games. When all the objectives are down, you can just farm your camps. Just farm your camps, hit your camps, get as strong as possible for the actual objective, and then you can fight the objective. Gonna mark this down. Very big, very good. When objectives are down, and there's like a lost state moment in the game, there's really nothing much going on. Just hit your camps. Hit your camps. Get as much gold as possible for the fight, or for the objective / objective fight. Yep. So that's pretty much going to be it. I'm going to send you these notes, and I'm going to upload this VOD to YouTube. I recommend you watch it back again, just because it's a lot of information. It's like a boom, 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 boom kind of thing. So I really recommend you watch this back, and maybe a few times even, so you can like really get a grasp on what we talk about here. And I'm going to send you these notes in DM, and that's going to be it for this session. So thank you for bringing this review. Thank you for bringing this to review, and yep, I hope I'll get to see you later on as
Thank
well.
you. Yep.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. I will see you then.
Yep. See you. Pop, 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 pop. Jungle Gym, what's up? Do I create a vortex? No. That's a weird review to be done when the person doesn't speak at all. But oh wait, I have to stop recording.